what performance meaning, like putting on, right? I think in this context, and what changes in breath and throat and jaw and chest and belly, like everything. Like what would you say the difference?
Well, I think the main difference is that you are really in touch with you. You know, picture the scene. You've got to walk out onto a stage, you've got to walk out into a boardroom, you're going to perform, you're going to not perform, we're not going to use that word, you're going to present your presence, you're going to be present and talk to your group and so on. So imagine just before you do that, if you are communicating with yourself, if you know who you are, if you're really in your back, if you're really in your spine, if you're really aware, your whole body is aware, and if your feet are really flat on the floor and you're really communicating with the earth, then you will be present. You will not be performing. And I think what happens from the moment people prepare to go into a performance situation, call it that in inverted commas, there's a big leaking that goes on as they walk into that room. They lose their confidence, they lose their courage, they leak emotion, perhaps fear, and in those few steps.
Yeah, I feel like also their authenticity doesn't shine through.
That's right.
Who they are, the essence, because you're putting on or you're constricting something, from your own goodness and essence. And when people feel truly connected, I feel like is when they get to know you, the authentic you, who you are. And presence is your authentic self, right? Like your breath and your energy and the truer part of you. And I feel like when we can really fully embody that with our breath and every part of us, like chest, jaw, like is not constricting. It's, what would you say? Authenticity part and presence is very closely connected.
Yes, if you're really being yourself, then your jaw will be soft, your tongue will be soft, everything will be soft. And really you, as when we perform, and we talked about that last week a little bit, when we're out there with thousands of people watching us, then there's nowhere to disappear to. So I think what happens in a stage fright situation often is that people abandon themselves, and they start to back away, they withdraw, and that's fear. Fear of criticism, perhaps fear of failure, whatever it is. And so I think if we want to be physiologically present and absolutely confident, then it's really important to be with that whole sense of here and now, and not leave yourself, not abandon yourself. Why would you do that? This is the time you need yourself most.
And I feel like that's when it happens, when you're speaking in your second language or both your native language, when you think you have to become somebody else, somebody like who is smarter or somebody who is more comfortable with this word. But that moment we remove ourselves, like you said, and that's when we stop accessing our body, really utilizing who we are, every part of our body we just leave behind and feel like we have to become this person who is ideal. But the ideal version is the authentic you and really incorporating every part of you. And so no matter if you're speaking this is your first language or second language, just I think it's a great reminder that the best version that they want to see, people are expecting, is the authentic you. The more part you can incorporate into your moment instead of leaving behind. And meaning utilizing your mind, and you're enough, like not thinking you have to say, you have to know more words or say smarter things. This is enough. You're embracing your breath and your body, everything. You're just incorporating. Then I think that's
Yeah.
like nothing is more convincing and touching and connecting and accessible. And yeah, so yeah, I feel like we come back to that. We talked about stage fright in episode 1. We
Yes.
talked about performance in episode 2. But and then this, we're talking about language, but turns out the language in so many senses, right? Like it's how we connect, and even the language below that, so many elements that we actually use, the symbols that we receive to understand through language.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
I think, yeah, it's really important to remember that language is vibration first, not meaning. And so you may choose the wrong word to say somebody, okay, to somebody.
Right.
But if your intention is good behind that, they'll pick that meaning up. They'll get the true interpretation, because really it's abstract. So every word we say is interpreted in an abstract way, and unique to each individual. And so